Three men and a multiverse of sci-fi's finest spacecraft. But which ones can claim to be the greatest ships ever? Welcome to Space Doc Jury.
Space Doc Jury, episode 29. I'm Lee, and I'm bringing a Zerg Leviathan from Starcraft 2, Heart of the Swarm.
I'm Peter, and I'm bringing Kosh's own personal transport ship from Babylon 5.
I'm Andy, and it's a trap! And I'm bringing Admiral Akbar's Home 1.
I'm Anne-Marie, and I'm bringing the Mimbari Shalin class from Babylon 5.
Yeah, so there you go. I think this could be called blobby ships. I think this is what this is.
Blobby, blobby, blobby.
Blobby, blobby, blobby. Mr. Blobby.
Yeah. Let's do that until a better idea comes along. Please let a better idea come along.
Yeah, don't worry. We're playing in and out with Mr. Blobby theme tune now. That's it.
Not if I have anything to do with it.
We have a much better alternative, don't worry.
Really? What would that be?
To do with Anne-Marie's choice, but we'll get on to that.
Okay, fair enough. Right, well, yeah, so here we are, Space Doc Jury, episode 29. Yes, we have a guest host on the crew today, which is Anne-Marie. Hello. After her...
Is she also joined by Tequila?
No, I've got work tomorrow.
Yeah, so for those of you who were previously looking forward to another... Klingon-style rant, you might be slowly disappointed today because she's actually sober.
Oh, no, I'm drinking beer instead of tequila.
Okay, then, well, that's the end
I
of
wish to withdraw my previous statement.
Yeah. And now I wish I had a time machine. Right, okay, fine. Okay, so before we get going, let's go run through our top 10 for this week, as it stands from last time. And I'm not going to do a voice. I'm just going to go for it.
I was going to say let Anne-Marie do it.
Oh, do you want to do it, Anne-Marie?
I need him to find the relevant thing.
I'm getting there. We're away from the computer screen to do this. So
right.
On the iPad, but I'll get there. Don't worry.
Pedal faster, damn it.
Yeah, this is where...
Having an argument with the iPad as well. It keeps not bringing up the right thing, and it shows lots of pretty colours without the right information.
Well, it doesn't help that I've got several files called Space Doc Jury, which isn't very sensible of me.
There's lots of purple on this, but it doesn't appear to be in actual any order.
One eternity later.
No, don't worry, there's a different one here.
Right.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I think this is right.
It's the podcast in microform, isn't it?
It is pretty much.
Yeah.
He thinks this is right.
If you can read it.
Come on in.
What? I can't read that.
Oh, for goodness sake. Right, okay, so at number 10, we have the USS Enterprise D. Step in whenever you like. 63 points. At number 9, we have the Dalek Mothership 2005 edition, also with 63 points. At number 8, with a big slabby lump of something, we have the UNSC Spirit of Fire with 64 points. At number 7, hanging in there from the very first episode, the Battlestar Pegasus, also with 64 points.
That wasn't the first episode.
Wasn't it?
No.
Was it the second?
Second or third.
Okay.
It's early in the thing anyway.
Hanging on from almost the beginning of the series, we have the Battlestar Pegasus with 64 points and a lot of nitpicking. Number
On this podcast? Surely you jest, sir.
At number 6, we have the Imperial Star Destroyer with 65 points. At number 5, the Battlestar Galactica, the Ronald D. Moore edition, also with 65 points. At number 4, the Super Star Destroyer Executor is sitting there with 68 points, and the top 3 remains unmoved.
Right, so I'm getting some late breaking news here. The Pegasus from episode 2. Episode 2.
Is it everyone keeping tabs on that?
Oh, we can all sleep safely in our beds tonight then, thankfully.
Thank fuck we got that cleared up. I would never have got through the rest of this cast without it. It'd be like having a bit of dialogue in my head.
Yeah, you're welcome, you see. Yeah. People have to pay for this kind of service usually.
Yeah.
For you, it's free.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Anyway, at number 3, we have the Ball Cube with 69 points. At number 2, with the Vengeful Spirit, also with 69 points. And finally, sitting right at the top, right at the very top, the Death Star Weapons Platform DS1 with 73 points. God, dear.
You got there eventually.
Yeah, it's like
you.
ice skating uphill nowadays. It's only 10
Good job I didn't try and read off his file. Not only is it pissing tiny writing with the totals right at the end rather than next to the ship, the top ship is something like number 4 because of the way it's just all laid out. I would have totally and utterly fucked that up big time if I'd been reading off of that.
Right, so now we know that Pete's stats are all up the shit.
Not my stats, mate.
explain a
It's a
lot.
shared spreadsheet.
Oh, good lord. Right, okay. Let's get on with it. So, last time we did this thing, he says, running through the full results, desperately trying to
I
remind
lost.
himself.
Andy lost.
Andy
then
lost.
It was me, and then it was Lee, I think.
That's right, you did. You lost with the Narada, the Borg Pinecone.
Yes.
Yes. Okie dokie. Well,
Unless Anne-Marie wants to go for... Anne-Marie gets choice of where she goes.
yes,
But otherwise we'll
guest
do whatever.
host. Would you like to go first, or would you like to go last,
Or anywhere in between.
or anywhere in between?
Shall I go first?
Probably a good idea. Probably a kick-scene.
Okay, so going first, we have Anne-Marie with the Mimbari Shalin. Take it away.
Charlene.
Charlene.
No, that wasn't the tune, by the
Oh,
way.
good lord.
No, it's not. The actual tune is
Yeah,
Dark Star.
Dark Star.
Because the legendary Charlene class was called the Dark Star.
Was it the
To be
Black
fair,
Star?
it was called the
Or was it the
Triumph.
Black Star?
Yes,
Oh,
the Black
wow.
Star, you do bring.
I'm sorry. I'm tired. I've had that much to drink already.
But that's okay, because the Bowie track's called Black Star as well. So
I was going to say,
I
do
thought
we have?
that was... Is the album Dark Star? Or is Dark Star something totally different and my brain has died?
Yeah,
Yes.
Dark Star. Dark Star was a video game on the ZX Spectrum, and also
And isn't it also a shit Dan O'Bannon film?
that's not a shit Dan O'Bannon film. It's just a very cheap
Very
student
cheap.
film.
That's boring
We're a bouncy ball alien.
and shit.
Oh, without it, you'd have nothing. You'd have nothing. I will not hear this heresy. Continue. Continue
Right,
on your
anyway.
way.
Go on our podcast and diss Dan O'Bannon. How very dare you?
How very dare you?
Sorry. Anyway,
I can get
Black
insulted
Star.
without this.
whatever.
Oh, go on.
Sorry. I think maybe I'm still hungover from the book.
Quite possibly. Go for it.
Oh dear, it's Mimbari heavy cruiser. It was the largest and most powerful capital ship in the Mimbari fleet. And those were the ships deployed at the Battle of the Line that nearly caused the extinction of the human race. They were equipped with stealth systems that prevented other races from making a target lock. And they were the sharks of space, with fins and teeth to match. They could also jam the electronics of other ships. Powered by fusion reactors, they could form their own jump gates, were equipped with an arsenal of weapons, had tractor beams that could disable other weapons, and carried 15 Nile-class heavy fighters into the battle as well. As well as seeing action in various battles in the course of the series in the hands of the Mimbari warrior caste, the religious caste also had them at their disposal, and the Valenthar was the personal transport of the ruling Grey Council, but the legendary one in the Battle of the Line was Black Star.
Yes.
Get it right in the end. Sorry. So, shall we try and rate this thing?
Yes. Yeah, that's
It's what we do, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
we're
I've lost
on a
the
roll.
plots.
Let's go with it.
Yeah, okay, fine. So, size,
Right.
its length is 1,600 metres, but it's taller than it is long.
Okay, so take the largest stat.
1,900.
1,900 meters.
Yeah.
Ooh, so that's that's a 10. That's
10,
right
yep.
on the edge of a 10. That is. Cool. Okay.
They
we're off
are
to fly.
big motherfuckers.
Yeah, didn't realise they were quite that big. Okay, go for it.
Yeah,
It's
you actually
deceptive
get
because it's all fins, isn't it?
Yeah. But you do get some really good shots in. Is it in the beginning?
Mm-hmm.
The movie version of sort of the early stuff. You get some really good shots with scale against other ships, and they are big,
Fucking
which is awesome. And
Yep.
They have purple on too. Yay!
Okie dokie. So, speed.
Speed? Yeah. Now sublight.
Yep.
The White Star got 4,
Yes.
but we don't think this would be as fast as that because the White Star's newer
Yep.
And smaller.
and smaller and more manoeuvrable. So 3.
Well,
2, maybe.
I mean, what are you basing that on? Because really, you just see them sort of trundling along. There's never
They tend to jump out and
Yeah.
then open fire. So yeah, you don't see them move around very much.
you don't really see them move. I was going to say,
Yeah.
I mean, a 3 means they get across the solar system in days, and that makes perfect sense to me, given the way that Babylon 5 tends to work. You know?
Yeah.
But
Well, if we don't see him,
but you don't see them really doing anything. You sort of
Yeah.
jump out, stop, and start firing.
I think the most you see him actually moving is when they're just patrolling outside Babylon 5. When we're just kind of dotting backwards and forwards. Otherwise, like you said, it's out of a jump gate and fire and blow up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of one of those perceptual things, isn't it? It's kind of like in universe, none of the ships take months to get out of a solar system.
Well, I mean, the Omega got a 1 because obviously it's Brickface.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to get more than that. But when you're talking 3, what are we in there? You're talking
Solar system across the solar system in days.
in days. The problem is, I think it can do it, but we have nothing that shows it can do it.
Yeah, that's true. So I think
I'd think more 2.
I think 2 just to split the difference because we
I
know
think that's fair.
What else has got? Just to give me a frame of reference, what else has got a 2?
that's a good question. The Draconia from Buck Rogers.
Oh no! I'm not having anything that's nice compared to that.
The
pile of
Cylon
shit.
base star.
Yep, the Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
The Odyssey from Ulysses 31.
Button Moon.
Yeah, the ship from Bottom
Comparing
Moon.
it to Cylon base star doesn't seem a bad
No.
comparison, actually.
There you
Yeah,
go.
okay, 2 it is.
Our scores work. Hooray!
And there was much rejoicing.
Hey. Okay, next one should be pretty straightforward because we've got...
Pass the night, free for a jump gate.
Yes.
It can open its own.
Yep.
Yes, that's a good one.
Maneuverability, it's a brick.
It's a bricky...
It might be a very pretty brick, but it's a brick.
It is the most polished, ornate brick that has ever graced this scores. But it
Yes.
is never. It is a brick. It is a brick nonetheless. Yep.
So 1.
Yep. Sure. 1. Okie dokie. And now we're on to firepower. Here we go.
Right. It's got 6 neutron cannons, 1 electromagnetic pulse cannon, and it's regularly seen one-shotting other large ships. So destroys capital ships in one shot.
Woof. Right. Okay. Capital ships in a shot. That's a
10.
Yeah, that's a 10. Big fat 10 for you, madam. Whoa.
Yay.
Get hold of that. 10. Bang. Right. Okay. Defense is going to be interesting as well.
Yeah, it's a bit complicated.
Mm.
You've got 1 somewhere for the ability to jam the systems on other ships.
That's active,
Yeah.
I think.
ECM.
Yeah, that's an active defense.
Mm-hmm.
Then, again, 1 somewhere for stealth. But I don't know whether that's
a
special.
special. So that's
Yeah,
a 1
stealth
for
is
that.
special.
Yep.
Okay. And then with passive, within the Babylon 5 universe, other than on actual Babylon 5, you don't really hear mention of shields. But it must have really heavy armour because it took 2 nukes to take down the Black Star. The first nuke you see knocks it into the path of the second nuke, which then blows it up. So it's got to have, if not shields, something that's pretty bloody awesome if it takes 2 nukes to blow the thing up.
Okay. Well, how do we feel about this, gents?
Well, it's a tough old beastie. I'm just again seeing what the Omega got way back when, which is the only other Babylon 5 capital ship we've done.
Agamemnon? Have we not done
Agamemnon. Yeah, we've done the Agamemnon, the Omega.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
that
is that
got
the same thing?
2, and I think it's a lot more than 2. I'd say 4 probably.
I was going to say it sounds a bit it sounds like a sort of really heavy. I mean, 2 nukes is nothing to be sniffed
Well,
at.
the first one was a glancing blow, but the second one, like you said, it blew it right into it, and that just blew it asunder. I mean, they're not because it was a surprise attack and it wasn't massively damaged, but it still got jumped by the Hyperion in the beginning and took enough damage to kill Valen. Not Valen. What's his name?
Ducat.
Yes.
I mean,
not that Ducat, the other Ducat.
You could argue that at that point they were surprised to have their shields up, but I'm not sure shields are a thing in Babylon.
They don't really have shield, with the exception of the Shadows and possibly the Vorlons. They don't really have energy shields, so that doesn't really count.
I was going with the Black Star on the basis that that's what we have most information on. Do you know what I mean? That's why.
Oh no, absolutely, yeah. What did the Shadow ship get? Because we've done those, haven't we? We did the
hold on, Shadow ship. Don't minimise the screen, you idiot. That's it.
Oh, the White Star's got 3, and the Shadow ship
probably got a 4, I would imagine. But let's have a look. Trying to find it.
It's on there somewhere.
Oh yeah, got it. It got a 3. Shadow's got a 3 as well.
I'd say a 3 then, because I don't think these are stronger than a Shadow Battle Crab.
No, 3 sounds about right.
Okay.
Cool. Because I was gonna cite was it Galactica, the Ronald D. Moore Galactica, because that takes a couple of nukes, and that's got like a 2 at the time. I think that needs redressing.
Yeah, I think you need to.
No, I think we bumped up Galactica and Pegasus on the Ronald D. Moore one. Because we gave the Pegasus. Oh yeah, that definitely needs bumping up. That's at 2 at the minute, and they take nukes and literally shrug them off.
Yeah.
So that's next pubcast. We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, mark them
we're
up.
dropping nukes. That's what we're doing.
Mark that up for. Okay.
Mark that one up for things. But I think 3 is a good place for the Shalin. It's the most powerful of the younger races, so it's kind of middle of the road because we know there's more powerful stuff out there.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay.
And then special, as well as the stealth that I mentioned earlier, you've also got armed support craft.
Yeah, it's got the fighters on there.
Okay, yep. So that's another one for the special.
Just before Pete goes in with his shuttles.
Got them as well, but and tractor beams.
Does it have tractors that you can lob out of a window?
Oh no, not drivey tractors. No.
Oh, right.
No, that's the thought.
They're not allowed either, apparently.
I remember you having arguments about tractor beams before, but you actually see the Shalin class use tractor beams defensively to take hold of another ship.
Well, that's what tractor beams do, dear. It was as opposed to cutting things up.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the only time
does that add into something to defence somewhere then, having tractor beams?
Only if they cut a ship up.
Yeah.
Oh no, this doesn't. It grabs it, doesn't it?
No, the only time it's ever been used weaponised is the bulk ships.
Yeah.
Which basically
fair enough.
cut a hole in things and just scoop them out using a beam while holding it all in place. So yeah. No, that's the exception, unfortunately. So tractor beams really aren't admissible mainly.
And if they were, we'd be bumping practically every ship up.
Okay.
So.
No, fair enough. Just asking.
Okay, that's cool. So, on to size of the crew.
190.
100.
Because you can carry up to 8,000 personnel, but they're just people. The crew is 190.
Which is a 4, I think. Yep, 4.
Yep.
4 for you there. Okay, and their competence.
Well, that's a lot more difficult, I think.
Well, if you do the Drala Fee, which is the Black Star, which was the best one of it, legendary, I mean, it was taken out by a hero character, effectively.
Yeah.
So it's pretty competent, I'd have thought.
Yeah.
And also he was, what Sheridan was doing was against whatever their equivalent of the Geneva Convention, because he trapped them by sounding a distress call.
Yeah.
And then blew them up with nukes.
Ah, right, I see. So he's... Yeah, so they were following rules and regs and getting sort of caught.
So,
no, they were going to go and kill Sheridan.
Yes,
they were, but they.
Ah, right.
Nobody comes out of this smelling of roses. It has to be said.
Yeah.
No, they weren't leaving any survivors, so they weren't going to go in for a rescue. But you're still not supposed to send out. It actually covers this in the episode. They actually then have to sort of justify ethically to Earth themselves why they were sending out a distress call when they had every intention of destroying the ship.
Yeah.
To be fair, I think even the Mimbari in general, they're not stupid. They literally got to Earth's doorstep.
Yeah.
with very little loss and stuff like that. So I think competence-wise is good. Can I just ask a question about where you got your crew stats from, Mo?
It's from the wiki.
Because I've got a different wiki in front of me, and it says more than what you said.
That sounds good. I love that.
I'll just let you argue over wikis. I'll just throw this in the chat here.
Go on.
But on this wiki page, which is for the Shalin class, that gives a crew of 600.
Okay. Does all the other stats match up, though?
Well, I mean, they haven't said the 12 fusion lancers, 6 neutrino cannons, and the EMP cannon, but we just established it can blow up a ship in a single go.
Yeah.
But everything else seems more or less the same. The length is the same at 1,600 meters.
Okay.
It doesn't list the height, but you know.
Okay.
I'm just saying, given the size of a ship, 150 does sound.
It to have more crew on, to be fair.
Yeah. Okay. Well, 600 crew, 4 command staff, so that's 604. Okay, 604. So 604 on the score for size of the crew would put that at a 5.
Okay.
There you go. So you got 5 for crew instead of 4. And for competence, what are we all going to say then, guys? I mean, from the sound of it, I'd probably say for a 4.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, their problem is they do get a sort of blood loss stop after a while, so that blinds them a bit. To sort of
I'd say it's effectively the Mimbari's version of the Agamemnon. So yeah, a 4's fine with me.
Cool. Okay, 4 it is. There you go. So, on to exterior. Here we go.
And this is a difficult one for me, because this is where I'm going to sort of turn to you guys really for some help on this, because on the one hand, the CG in Babylon 5 as a rule, it really doesn't hold up, but it was very early. So do you take into account how early it was? Also, I have to say that the Shalin class as a rule are generally well realised in comparison with other ships in Babylon 5. They're not the only ones that are well realised, but some of them, and some of the buildings you see as their CG in Babylon 5, some of the other ships are really shit. And this one is good in context. So I don't have an awful lot of a frame of reference really to go on. I'm at a bit of a loss and looking to you for some ideas, really.
I think it's a great ship still, and I know the CG is a bit flaky compared to today's standard, but I mean, my ongoing argument with Pete is I don't think it's quite that bad. So I'm the wrong person to ask.
I always hold the middle ground. I think in terms of Babylon 5 CG, I think you can't underestimate the impact it had and the quality it was at the time.
Yeah,
You've never seen anything like it at this time. Everything had been bricks.
And the other thing is also you have to look at it. You have to look at it in two ways. You have to sort of say, well, was it good at the time? Was it good right? Is it good right now? And you kind of almost have to fall back on the Thunderbirds argument. You have to say, well, okay, in context, it looks really good. But you look at a Thunderbird ship now, and you go, it's nicely made and looks great, but it's still, you can still see strings and it looks a bit shonky. So.
Did they have a Shalin in the what was it called? That one we did more recently, but it was on high def. Lost Tales.
No,
I can't remember if they had one in that or not.
No, don't have that one.
We don't have that one, so I don't know.
Okay.
No,
mind.
I don't think so. But I mean, so the problem you have is it's kind of like. And it's the problem we keep coming back to with exterior is it's what are we actually evaluating here? Are we evaluating it in context? Are we evaluating it compared to other ships? In which case,
Well, here's a render from Reese, just of the ship against the background.
Yeah, but that's well rendered, and I think that's his model, isn't it?
Yeah, but still, I'm talking about not just how the model was used. I'm talking about the design of the ship as well. I'm talking about how all those things as well. It's again, if you're taking about the technology aside, if you were to up-res it and stuff like that, I know there'll be differences, but I'm just talking about just the aesthetic and the design of it.
Yeah,
I'm using that as an example.
I think.
I love it. That's why I'm bringing it. But
I think it's a lovely design.
I think so, and it's what's the word I'm looking for? Iconic. It's not. It doesn't look like anything else. You know what that is when you see it.
Yeah.
On the screen.
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
But I still struggle to give it a number.
Okay.
I can't help but notice your husband's awfully quiet for all of this.
I'm playing it very safe here.
Yeah.
Yes, what do you think, Pete?
Yeah, what
Do
you-
pipe up.
Yeah, clicking.
Well, you know my opinion. I mean, yes, okay, you've got to factor in whether you think it looks nice or not in terms of the actual design, but I do think you have to also factor in how it looks on the screen.
But you didn't think it looked bad when we watched.
Compared to most of the other ships, actually, I thought probably one of the best, realised CG models they use. I think, whether that's the colouring or what, I don't know, but it does look pretty good actually. So I was willing to go for a free.
Okay.
Like, see, I don't want to trust him. That's why
You're very wise, Anne-Marie.
Yes. We've had this discussion quite a few times. The White Star was a 3. The Shadow Crab was a 4.
Oh my gosh! We saw that so highly.
The Omega's a 4 as well. I mean, I'm happy with a 4 to be perfectly honest,
Yeah,
because
on par with
I think realization is not just how well the model is in terms of what we do on the screen. I'm talking about how well is it designed.
Yeah.
No, I don't disagree. I just think the problem is I place a different weighting on how it looks on screen to the design as you guys do. I am factoring that in as well, but yeah. It's how real it looks, ultimately, is a big factor for me.
I think it looks more real than half of the fucking Doctor Who ships that you look at and go, isn't that lovely? And I'm thinking, that's a fucking bottle top, fuck off.
You make an excellent point. It must be
Right.
so.
Okay. So 4 it is then. Interior. Here we go.
This doesn't go quite so well for you, I think.
No, on the plus side, it isn't just grey.
No.
You do see some places that are just grey. Downside, we don't see the bridge or command centre or anything like it. All we get to see is corridors, a very, very, very dark sanctum that has a Vorlon appear briefly, and a very, very dark room that has a view screen and occasionally 9 points of light.
Well, it is the bridge, isn't it?
No, I don't think it is, actually, because they actually call down or up to the bridge at one point.
Yeah.
Because that's the Grey Council, which you only get on the one ship.
Although
So
they do
that's-
move to another one, so that
But
presumably they
the
can
point
be
is
housed
there's
on
kind
it.
of a sort of observation room which they're installed in, but it's not the bridge.
Think of it like the observation lounge, I think, really, that they're in, and then, or a meeting room with, really.
You're turning
fancy...
into a next generation version now, aren't you?
or it's some kind of, they refit some of the rooms inside to create a council chamber, but it isn't the bridge.
No.
But yeah, I mean, Babylon 5 interiors, as a rule, are generally not
Cheap.
great.
No.
They have triangles. There is some pink.
There's no correlation between anything you see inside and outside either, is there?
Well, you don't know what you're seeing because it's corridors and very dark rooms.
Yes, but Pete likes to see the bridge.
Yeah, no, I know he
Very
does.
insistent on the bridge.
I know he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I happen to think that that's identifying a ship's weak point and a bit stupid, if you ask me.
Oh, I'm with you on that.
But there's nothing...
Why did I get you on this again?
What I'm saying is there's nothing about what we see that means there's a discrepancy between the interior and the exterior. With some ships you do get that you're like, no, that's not fitting in that. What are you on about? Or it changes. You haven't got that issue. But the reason you haven't got that issue is because you see so bloody little and most of it's dark.
So pick a number.
Yeah, pick a number. 2.
2?
2's good.
Yeah.
I'd go with a 2.
There you go.
There we are then. Fair enough.
Sciencey McScience face.
Organic ships. 1.
Yeah.
We gave the White Star a 2. I can't remember why, but I don't
Why?
I think it was because it flew with Newtonian physics.
No, it does actually.
and
Yes,
all that
it
kind
would
of
have
stuff,
been a
so-
1, but it had a reason to be not 1.
Yes.
Plus, I think we were trying to make sure it scored the same as the Define at the time.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, we were trying to fuck things up. No. So what were you saying for this then for the Black
I
Star?
think living ships are a 1.
Yeah.
It's not a living ship in
Well,
the
it's
same way
organic, isn't it? Or has organic components.
Well, I'm saying, but it's not in the same way as the Vorlon or the Shadow ships, is it? It looks organic, but it's not, is it?
It's also
I thought
bloody
it was
huge.
grown. I thought it was grown.
I didn't think these were grown. I thought these were built. They're just built in a very organic style, reflecting Mimbari architecture. They're not like...
I thought they used organic components.
That's just a White Star, because they made a big deal about the White Star having the organic components.
That's true. Okay, hang on. He's Googling something.
There is Googling afoot.
Manufactured rather than grown, according to this.
In which case, it might get more for science. Although, how we justify more for science, I don't really know, because jump gates aren't real. None of the technology it says it has is real, apart from stealth technology. That's a real thing.
It has hand wavium when it comes to the anti-gravity.
Doesn't it?
It just
so,
says
I don't think you can score this very much for science at all, really.
We're not saying it's very much. We're arguing if you got a 1 or a 2.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to.
Okay, so why would it get or not get a 2?
Well, the reason it wouldn't get a 1 is because the ships which are worse. Which
fine. Okay, so...
Yeah.
So then maybe it should have a 2.
I think it does, because otherwise I'm going to end up with a 0. So...
Okay.
Fair enough. 2 then.
2 it is for reasons. Okay, cool. And now, cool factor. Now, we've got 4 of us here.
So it's 3, 2, 2, 2, isn't it?
3, 2, 2, 2, yes.
And I'm giving it all of my 3 because this is fucking awesome and I love it.
Okay. Andy?
I'll give it 2 because it is awesome.
Okay.
Space fish.
Pete?
Yay.
Pete?
I want to wake up alive in the morning, so I'm giving it 2.
The threat of violence hangs over you like a cloud, doesn't it?
Yeah,
That's rather, yes.
Blink twice. Have you been held against your will, Pete?
Yeah.
Remember, she's got a bat left.
Yeah, just remember the watch word. The safety word is banana. If we say that,
spell.
yeah, no, he just has to say it.
Yeah, but
Anyway, so how much do I need to give it to make everyone happy?
2.
So
Give it whatever you want, Lee.
No, I'll give it the full.
Yeah.
I'll give it the full beans as well. I love this ship. It's really nice.
Awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cool. Okay, so there you go. So the Mimbari Shalin has nicely rocked up with a not too unimpressive 59.
Nice.
Making it the same as Shinzon Scimitar.
all right.
Oh dear. And also making it the same as, he says, scrolling roughly through as quickly as he can.
With the Deredex.
The Deredex, slightly better than the Normandy SR1 and 2 points better than the Shadow Crab.
Cool. Excellent.
There you go. Well done.
Yee, I'm happy with that.
There you go. Well done.
Well done.
And no Pete's were harmed in the making of this scoring.
So, to be fair, the podcast is still early.
Yeah, we've still got time. Brilliant. Okay, well, that's the first ship out the way. That's the Shaolin. Sorry, not Shaolin. And
Shaolin sucker.
Shaolin.
Mortal Kombat. Wait, that's not one cast.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah, No, don't. I haven't watched it yet. Anyway, right. So now it's time for Andy, who lost in last episode. So it's time for you to rock up with the planet Trapium.
The planet Trapium. Yes.
Yeah. You know NASA found all the planets, didn't they?
Oh, Trappist. Yes.
Trappist. That's it.
Yes.
Trappist.
The Akbar system, as it is, it really should be known.
The Trappist. It's a trap.
Yeah. It's an elaborate ruse. Fortunately, everyone out there is very lucky to have a sore throat. Otherwise, I would be doing this all in the style of Admiral Akbar, but my throat will not stand up to it. Lucky you. So, yes, Home 1, also known as the Headquarters Frigate, which seems redundant, but still, was an MC-80 Star Cruiser in the Reliance to restore the Republic fleet, which was shortened to the Rebel Alliance, famous for its role in the Battle of Endor, and as Admiral Gail Akbar's flagship. You might know him as a fishman who knows when it's a trap.
He does indeed.
Yeah, it was. He was very good at spotting those. I think his competence will do him well because of that. Anyway. Home 1 belonged to the Mon Calamari Star Cruiser line of warships, and like most Mon Cal ships, it has a long cylindrical hull, blue-grey in colour, had a tapered nose and a bulbous stern. Wait, am I describing a ship or some sort of sex toy here?
I don't know, but...
Well, looking at it...
does look like a bulby too.
Either way, you're getting aroused. There you go.
Yeah.
Did lack the flared wings as seen in the Liberator. Right.
Say it quiet with a whisper.
Can her original form, the Home One was an unarmed civilian vessel designed
And
for
I'm finished.
protection. And her hull was strewn with a large number of observation viewports would have been vulnerable for a military role. However, these were later plated over with heavy hull plating and triple redundant deflector shields, which she would carry into Rebel Alliance service. During the Galactic Civil War, Home One was rebuilt to serve as a command ship, a carrier, and a battleship. Her last viewports were plated over when she was outfitted with heavy offensive armament. Presumably, they learned some lessons from the Battle of Scarif.
And not to dangle your bridge off of a very long, thin, very feeble-looking bridge.
I like the theory someone has that wasn't actually the bridge, that they just put the crazy old man down there, so he was out of the way.
Yeah, he was just shouting at mannequins while everyone else was steering at top.
The hull contained 20 hangars, 2 of which were capable of handling larger vessels, such as the Millennium Falcon or the Shuttle Tidarium. The main hangar was on the ship's underbelly. 2 smaller bays were visible on the port side of the hull, opposite the larger hangar bay. The Secret Squadron Greyflight utilised this hangar with an aperture located on the ceiling of the room. The interior corridors, bridges and bulkheads of Home One were pristine white. I don't know why. A Mon Calamari thing, I presume.
Yeah.
Home One was modified by Calamari technicians to be capable of splitting apart into 3 sections. That's all bollocks. Ignore that.
Yeah. We're into legends. We're into legends territory.
We're into legends shit. Let's just skip all of that. Ship was powered by an M8.0 Star Drive engines and 6 M4.5 Star Drive maneuvering engines, which means absolutely nothing because, whatever. Had a standard crew of 5,402 in addition to 78 gunners. Could carry 1,200 troops and 20,000 metric tons of cargo.
A lot of fish food.
A lot and lots of fish food. As with all early Mon Calamari cruisers, the ship's bridge controls could not be modified for use by human hands, so the command crews were almost exclusively Mon Calamari. But the rest of the crew were a mix of all rebel species. For example, weird word I can't pronounce, served as a technician during the Battle of Endor. In addition,
you, Lucas.
yes. He does one of those things. You take the first 3 letters of your surname, the name of your dog's cat, then put them together on your street name, and there's your Star Wars name thing. Anyway, so we just get on with this thing.
Can you
just flown so far off?
Can you just confirm a couple of things?
Yes.
Did it have flooring that was primarily blue gravel, and was there somewhere on board a small treasure chest that would fill up with bubbles and then open up at random?
Yes. Actually, you can see that on that picture I sent across. You can actually see the window on the side. Do you see it?
Yeah.
You can tap in there, and the starfish would just kind of move across the thing.
You can also see where you put the replacement filters in as well for the pump.
Is there a skeleton with a scimitar and a
There's a scuba diver which would kind of float up to the top and then come down again.
And an awkward-shaped ornament halfway in the middle of the ship that half the crew would get stuck in randomly and need rescuing from.
Oh, yeah. It had a very diligent cleaning crew as well to get rid of those long kind of goldfish poops that just kind of hang in the corridors.
Oh, and I bet it smelt like old fish. I bet it
did.
did.
It's the question of why they didn't just have like the command structure and all that just underwater.
Yeah. Because I suppose that would have cost too much in special effects, to be honest.
Wait, you're breaking the fourth wall! You're breaking the fourth wall!
A way to not break the fourth wall is there are certain species of fish that do actually come out of the water for periods of time. I think a type of blenny does, and there's one that lives in mangroves that comes out and sits on branches of trees to eat frogs. So presumably, Mon Calamari evolved from them.
The dreaded land sharks, very dangerous.
Okay, let's score this thing.
We get too stuck into biology.
Yes, let's try and avoid that. So, firstly, we're on to size. Now, let's kick off with an argument, shall we?
It's a Star Wars ship. It's got no defined size.
No, it has a defined size. The defined size that's written on the Wikipedia, whatever, is 1.2 kilometers. However, this doesn't match what we see in Return of the Jedi, where its depicted size is approximately 2.5 kilometers. Now, I think we've started saying, okay, whatever's written on Wikipedia, fine, but if it's contradicted by what you see on the screen, we take what's on the screen.
Yeah,
am I correct?
Makes sense.
I think so. I mean, I was going to say 1.5 kilometers doesn't sound anything like the same size as a Star Destroyer, which these things were going up against.
Well, a Star Destroyer is 1 kilometer, but this that's about the size of the smaller winged ones. This was obviously the big flagship, although it wasn't quite as Super Star Destroyer level. It was supposed to be the Rebel equivalent. So
where did you get your stats for the 2 kilometer edition from?
The same place I get everything from, Wikipedia. Direct scaling of Home 1 in Return of the Jedi implies a minimum length of approximately 2.5 kilometers. Some cinematic evidence suggests several kilometers longer than that. This contrasts for 1,200 meters, 1,300 meters, and 1,400 meters given in the expanded universe sources.
And yet Wikipedia also lists its length as 1,200 meters.
Are you telling me it contradicts itself? I'm shocked. I'm shocked and appalled.
I am looking at the canon section of it, and it does actually say 1,200 meters.
Yes, but I am looking over here in the Legends side of it,
which we've already established many moons ago to be complete and utter bollocks.
Yes, but
do we have a screenshot to compare for size from Return of the Jedi?
I could probably find one if I was inclined to do so. All I would say, though, is this is someone who's done what you did with the Roger Young and obviously has no life outside of Star Wars and has sat and counted pixels or whatever he's done to do it.
Hold on. Send me your link, because I'm looking at Wikipedia, and in the Legends section it actually says the length is 1,300 meters.
Here, go down to behind the scenes. You will find a picture of it sat next to 2 Star Destroyers.
Hold on. So
looks up thing on internet.
Hold on. So let me get this straight. So someone's done. Oh, look at the piss poor render on that, dude. Seriously. Seriously, look at that. They've got blue shadows. That someone has made that.
I'm not even talking about the picture. I'm just saying the pictures where the line is.
Oh, right, where the pictures are. Okay, fair enough.
Yes. I'm not referring to the pictures. And again, if it was from the game, I'd dismiss it. But they're talking about the film.
Direct scaling of Home 1 implies minimum length. Yeah, okay, right, fine. This is given by expanded using of. Oh, I love this. 14, and this contrasts with the expanded universe sources. X-Wing Alliance will provide sources of 1,400 meter Home 1. Also gives a length of 1,500 meters for the Liberty-style cruisers. The most quoted size is 1,200 meters, apparently originated from West End Games. The game Empire at War scales Home 1 to approximately 3,200 meters. Oh my!
Which is why I'm going off what the film is.
For God's sakes. Is there nothing on StarWars.com?
Oh, please. StarWars.com just references stuff off of Wikipedia.
No, they don't. I think if you wanted to find anything that feels a little bit...
I'm sure I've got a Star Wars annual somewhere that's got the right figure.
I tell you what. So we've got. Literally, we've just quoted like 4 different sizes for this thing. What size do you want, Andy?
2.5 kilometers. The one implied from the minimum length implied from Return of the Jedi.
2.5. Okay, well, 2.5 kilometers. Well, yeah, it's 11 instead of a 10. I think for the argument that would ensue to stop you having 1 point, I think it's
probably not worth it.
Not worth
it's never worth it. We should have learnt this by now.
Right. Okay. Cool. So Sublight. That's 11 points for that. Sublight.
Sublight, I think it's a 1, isn't it? It's up there with Star Destroyers.
Yep.
FTL, it's Star Wars.
FTL.
Which is 3, I believe.
Is it? I can't remember.
Yep.
Yep, 3. Okay.
Maneuverability, it's 1. I mean, we get to see it do a very hard bank, but it still takes about 17 years to turn away from the Death Star 2.
Pretty much.
Does it not have a reverse then?
Apparently not. There's no engines at the front, so it can't reverse, obviously. They're all at the front back.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything. It's Star Wars.
It
can do whatever it needs
space.
to do. Yeah. But no, let's not get into physics of movement in space, because
especially not in Star Wars.
I was going to say, Star Wars goes right out the window. Science is gone. Right, okay, so firepower, sir.
So firepower, again, I think it's probably the equivalent of a Star Destroyer. Even though it's bigger, but it's definitely implied that the Imperials are the more heavily armoured ships, generally speaking.
Well, that makes sense.
And it's not... I don't think it's anywhere near what a Super Star Destroyer is. So I'm thinking this is probably a 9 like we gave the Star Destroyer. Although it's a bigger ship, it's not as efficient in its use of size.
Sounds about right to me. I mean, the fact that we never actually see it firing, though, is a bit of a cause concern.
No, we do see it fire. There is a shot in Jedi of it doing a broadside against a Star Destroyer.
Right. And not taking it out in one shot, though, presumably.
Well, yeah, but the Star Destroyer doesn't take home one out in one shot either.
No, that's fair enough. But I'm just trying to work out what the sizes are, what the scores are. I mean, because we still got 9 as city leveling.
Yeah, Andy, didn't you say in your initial blurb that this was originally a civilian ship?
It was.
Presumably, it's been refitted, but if it's not designed to originally pack that much firepower, you can't just look at its size and go, well, it's the same size as this. It's got to be less, surely, if it's a refitted civilian ship.
Yeah, but I'm saying this is twice the size of a Star Destroyer, but only has the same power as the Star Destroyer, so it's half as efficient as the ship built for war.
Yeah.
Okay, I think.
Science!
Yeah. Don't look at the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Right, go on and go for it. Anyway, so okay, we'll stick with 9 for the moment. I was gonna say 8, but I to be quite honest, it makes the looking at the scoring, it says 8 is a Defiant and White Star, and I don't think it's that.
No, it's more than that. Isn't it?
No, so yeah,
No.
okay.
So
It's more than that. I don't think it's a 10, which we've got for one shot in capital ships and stuff like this. Yeah. I think it's the equivalent of a Star Destroyer, just your bog standard.
Yeah,
Imperial class.
That's fine. Split the difference. That's all good.
Yeah,
cool.
For defense, for active, it lists a whole load of bloody laser cannons and shit like that for shooting down stuff. One maybe for a point defense system, but I'm not fighting for it.
You never really see it shooting.
You just see shots going backwards and forwards all over the shop.
Yeah, it's not really. It's really. I don't think you can argue a point defense system, because that would be something definitely built to shoot something down that's attacking it. And the only shots, as you say, you see is it broadsiding against,
Well,
Star
then
Destroyers.
say again, not fast.
I'm not. I'm quite happy if everyone else wants to go for it as a point defense.
Well, I'm just thinking back to the Battle of Endor. It's just there's so many laser bolts flying across the screen everywhere. You've got ships blowing up, but you can't tell if it was blown up by one of the lasers from Home 1 or if it was blown up by a X-wing or something chasing the thing around.
We don't know, so I think probably.
I'll just leave it out. It's,
it's a little hard to tell, unfortunately.
Right. Okay. As far as passive go, it has heavy hull plating and triple redundant deflector shields. Which are those are words. They're all in English. Don't really know what any of that means.
But I think any order you like.
I think again. I mean, what did we give the? We gave the Star Destroyer 4, so I'd say 3 because again, I don't get the impression this would be as tough as Star Destroyer.
No, definitely not. I mean, it survives the broadsides purely by its own size, I think, rather than any shielding advantage.
Oh, I think it had good shields. It's just, I think if once you got through the shields, you're going to be cutting into a sardine can.
Yeah, there'd be water all over the floor and a small goldfish looking up at the water coming down to it.
Animal Akbar flopping around there.
Yeah, exactly. Now what? So 3 then, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, special.
Well, we have numerous fighter craft on board.
Okay. 1.
We also have ground troops on board.
2. Cool.
And
oh shit! I think the Mimbari had those as well.
Did the Mimbari ship have ground troops and all?
Yeah, according to the wiki. Anyway, there's no mention of it in the series, though. To be fair, probably move along. No,
okay. Okay. Right. Pay no attention to Mamma.
If it's in the wiki.
Yeah, we're just saying the wiki isn't necessarily the be all and end all.
Yeah, because the wiki.
No, what we said is if the wiki is contradicted by what you see on the screen, you go with what you see on the screen.
Yeah, but the point is you don't see any evidence of it on screen. So
you never see any troops.
Yeah, we see evidence of the ground troops on Home 1 because they obviously go and mount the raid on the Century Moon. We don't see. Actually, no, she's right. You do because you see them in Mimbari during. No, she can have one for ground troops because you see them. In the beginning.
Well, that puts them in Mimbari Shalin. Now we've given that a 3 for special. Puts it at 60.
Yep.
I'd like to point out this point that I got you that point. I expect favours in return.
Do you need a moment?
Yeah, it will only be a moment, don't we?
What? So you get I don't even want to know what you get for an extra point. At this late stage of the evening, I just want to curl up in a ball and just listen to the whale song rather than consider anything else at this point.
I'll watch Star Trek 4 then.
What?
Better than 5.
Better than 5.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Okay.
trying to drag this thing back to some semblance of sense.
Okay.
It's a lost cause, I know.
I was going to say good luck with that.
Yeah. I think that's everything for special. I don't think anything else really. I mean, it's got a very nice holo projector, nice theatre. So I'm thinking, you could sit there, watch a film.
Yeah, home
It's
cinema.
in full 3D, home cinema setup. But I don't think that really counts as anything worthwhile. So let's not bother with that. So for crew, 5,400, I think I said. Oh, sorry, 5,402. That 2 is very important.
5,402.
Yes.
So 5,402. No, it's not very important actually because you've got a
that's
space of 5,000. That's 8. A crew size of 8.
Okay.
Okay, and competence.
And as has been mentioned, they know when it's a trap.
They do indeed.
The problem is that a couple of seconds later they forget.
No, they still knew it was a trap, but they just knew that they tried to escape, but they only had one chance of this. It was then pointed out if they're close to the Star Destroyers and attacked at point-blank range, they might have a chance. But it wouldn't last long against those Star Destroyers, but they would last longer than they would against that Death Star.
It is also worth mentioning at this point that they stumbled into a battle with a massive Super Star Destroyer and space stations and everything without first checking to see if the shields were down.
Well, the shields were supposed to be down. Hands down there. My buddy's down there.
Yeah,
You'll get them down.
Yeah, but thinking that they're going to get them down isn't quite the same as making sure they're going to get them down.
I think it's heavily implied that they needed to have surprise on their side. Not knowing that it was a trap until they got there.
It's
at
like
which
the
point they
surprise of
realised
somebody
it
turning
was a
up at
trap.
your front door with no clothes on.
Exactly. You're not going to answer the door a second time,
Okay, so
But
what
you are likely to get kicked.
can I ask for what it's worth? What you're actually going to ask for competence on this one?
I was only going to ask for 4.
4.
4?
Are you going to look? You're going to sit there, Anne-Marie, and tell me it's not as competent as your bloody Mimbari?
Yeah. Because of what everyone said. Were you not listening?
Yes, I was. This is the part of the cast where they usually try and wind me up.
I mean, it's the thing. The thing I have with competence is that they've got 3-dimensional space and they don't fly upwards.
Oh, please. If you want to start doing that, we're going to go through every bloody ship on this list and start taking one away for that.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is there's nothing really showing their competence, apart from the fact that they're still alive by the end of the film.
Well, I think that goes a long way towards it. Secondly, once they realise that, again, they position themselves tactically. They do what they have to do to stay alive in order to complete the mission and to destroy the Death Star.
That is very true. I will give you that point. I'm okay. Pete, what do you think?
I was, excuse the phrase, floating around 3.
Floating.
With my gills up.
with an infected swim bladder.
Yeah. Sorry, Elton.
Yeah.
Too soon, man. Too soon.
So I don't know. I mean I take Andy's point about the 4. I think they do actually have the wherewithal to actually try and keep their ship alive a lot longer by going close to the Star Destroyers, which at first seemed like a fool's errand until the Death Star starts throwing bolts everywhere.
Yeah. We've seen plenty of other ships as well in that sort of a situation where, they keep doing the same sort of thing, hoping for something to... again, they'll just sit there, taking a beating, hoping that whatever's going to happen will happen to let them get out. As soon as that thing fired, once they identified it, they tried to get out of there. It is pointed out, this is your one chance. You're not going to get another shot at this. So they do what they have to do to stay in the fight, to buy time, so they can finish it. And as you point out, they're still alive at the end. That's not a bad thing for a goldfish, as Elton will attest.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna say 4. I'm quite happy to go for a 4.
I'll go with 4 just because Admiral Akbar was one of my favourite Star Wars figures.
And he makes a fantastic
Some
cereal.
reason
Yeah.
to... Okay, no, fair enough. They were the same crew as the ones behind the original plan to get the shields down and everything. So, yeah. I know you didn't like the idea of me saying that before when I brought the Chang's Bird of Prey, but that happens to be the way I think.
No.
It's a concerted effort, all planned together.
Yeah, working out a plan is not the same as flying a spaceship and commanding it. That was the only thing with the Chang's plan thing. But let's move on.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's not go there. But I understand your point. Let's backing away.
It's a trap.
It's an 11-foot boost.
Had to be done.
Yeah. Nobody can repel the frowning of that magnitude.
Dirty look of that magnitude.
Exactly. Okay, exterior realization.
Exterior realization. We didn't actually see this at the exhibition. It's the winged version, isn't it?
Yeah, we saw the Liberty on.
But still, this is ILM at its finest. Still, the model work. It's a fantastic. I think this is I think it's about a 10-foot long, fully made,
and then some
studio model. It's huge, and the attention to detail on the thing is magnificent. Because we saw the other Mon Calamari ship, which they had there, the one with the wings, though, and you can just sit and stare at that thing for hours. Because unlike the Star Destroyer, which is all greeblies and stuff like that stuck onto it, this is all in the paint and the layers of detail and everything on there. It's a stunning model, and again, as with all the Star Wars stuff we've done, with the exception of the shit out of the prequels, which is largely CGI and shit, I'm asking for a 5 for the realization because I still think it's the high watermark for spaceships.
Okay, Pete?
Well, this is an interesting one because this is where it goes the other way for me, the way I normally approach it, because it's a fantastic model in terms of its realization. It looks fantastic, but it's hardly the most distinctive of profiles, is it? It's just a blobby thing. That's my only problem with it. So I kind of want to say 5 just because, again, looking real is important for me.
I totally take your point. I will just say, though, it's supposed to be your opposite of your Star Destroyer and your Imperial ships, which are all very much about the kind of harsh angles and
yes, I can see what
hard surfaces. Whereas it's with again, it's supposed to be.
Didn't you have the nickname of the Gherkin or something like that?
No, that's a large building in London.
Before that.
I always used to call it the I've eaten too much bran.
I was having a drink.
Yeah. It's the
That's what happened to me on the broadcast with the tequila. It ended up hurting my ears.
It's the dehydrated poo. I mean, it's all but a lolly stick sticking out of it, to be honest. But I mean, anyway, go on, carry on. What about you, Anne-Marie? What do you think of it?
Tough one because I had to be shown a picture to be reminded what it looked like, which for me counts against it. But when you look at it, it is very, very detailed, which for me is a big plus. And also, it doesn't look like a fucking bottle top or something.
No, that's very true.
So I'm torn actually because I don't know how much looking distinctive counts for exterior realization compared to coolness.
Coolness is where you personally want to how you feel about it personally. Well, we're supposed to try and take that out of it, and even if you think the thing is a horrible ship and you don't like it, if it's well realized
and if it's distinct, so distinctiveness is an aspect.
It can be an aspect of it. If something's very distinctive, that certainly adds to it.
But
because this isn't distinctive.
But if you decide that actually you hate the look of the ship, but you admire the build of the ship, then you can give it a kick in on the coolness. If that makes sense.
I don't dislike it. That's not his problem. It's just I didn't remember it.
No, fair enough.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
where do you stand with it, Mr. Medcar?
It's a 5. I love these bloody ships.
Thank you.
So simple as that. So okay, it's a 5. unless anyone's got any strong.
I mean, the least I was looking at was a 4. So yeah,
I was never looking at less than a 4. I just wasn't sure the extent. As I said, my only criticism of it is that I didn't remember it. That was my only criticism of it. So
well, and that can be reflected in your cool score.
Okay.
Cool. Okay. Interior.
Interiors. We actually see quite a few interiors on Home One. You got the bridge section. with Admiral Akbar's floaty dentist chair.
Yes,
love
that is
that
cool.
It's so cool, isn't it?
Look at me, I'm swiveling.
just swiveling around the entire the
It's
thing.
like the first time you ever got on a proper office chair. I remember going to visit my dad when he was in insurance and just zooming around the office on his chair. Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
We've got the command and control room, the briefing room, as mentioned, with its high-definition holographic projector. Lots of laid-back seating there. I think it's got D-Box surround sound and little popcorn holders, which is very nice. Plus, we see the hangars, which are fantastic matte paintings in the... well, it's a combination of matte painting and everything, but I always love when you see the hangar bay and there's everyone going around doing their bits and pieces and stuff.
I love that. Yeah.
I'm going to ask for 5 for this. I know you don't see a huge amount, but everything you see is just so utterly well done, and none of it's extraneous. There's no bits
Apart
there.
from the popcorn holders.
Apart from the popcorn holders. But, I mean, honestly, have you... it's so awkward when you've got a popcorn. You've got to... Trust me, it's the wave of the future. But I think everything that you see has a purpose and is used really well in the interior. And again, it's Lucas, it's ILM, it's... again, it's very, very shiny, very white, very clean, very clinical.
See, I would be inclined to agree with you, Andy, because I remember the interiors in a way that I don't remember the exteriors, and they are really detailed, and they do bring the ship to life, and they look real, and they're amazing, and we see lots of them.
Yes, and again, I really can't overstate enough Admiral Akbar's swivel chair.
I know, it's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, well, there you go. Cool. Okay. Well, I think interior of 5 sounds fairly much a goer. Okay, so science.
I think we're down in the 2s. It's what we've given most of the other Star Wars ships we've come across, isn't it?
Yeah. Big ships pulling silly maneuvers. Little ships pulling silly maneuvers.
To be fair, if it was filled with water for the bridge and command section, I might ask for an extra point, but because they haven't, I'll go with 2.
That sounds like a good one. Right, that sounds like a winner. So 2 for me, I think that sounds about right. Yep. Cool, and the cool factor. So
all of my 3.
You mean 4? I did a little bit of maths.
No, it's 3, because it's 3, 2, 2, 2.
Yes. Yes, there's 4. There's another person here.
3, 2, 2, and 2.
No,
that's 4. He's right.
4, 2, 2, 2.
Oh my god, I've done the maths winner again. Woo!
So I should have given it 4 for the...
Yeah, I took that into account. But
okay, you knew what I meant.
I knew what you meant.
Anyway, yes, I'll give it my 4.
Right, okay, so 4 for you. And Pete, what are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it 1 just because it's not, by a long way, it's not my favourite Star Wars ship. I mean, it's good, but it's not top, so 1.
Okie dokie. And Marie?
Is it hard for me with only 2 points? Because if I had 3 points, I'd give it 2. I don't feel I can give it 1 because of Admiral Akbar's chair.
Give it 2 then.
Plus Admiral Akbar's chair makes 2.
Well, then there you go. So 2 it is. 7.
Yeah, you can come back again.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it my full 2.
Yeah,
because I think it's a really cool ship, even though it looks like a turd. I mean, if it
a
was,
dehydrated turd.
If it was just me and Andy and Pete, I would have given it 2 still.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. If I'd had 3 points, I'd have given it 2. But when you've only got 2, it's got Admiral Akbar's chair.
Yeah, so there you go. So there you go. Home 1 done and done, and we have a new ship in the top 10.
Have I just knocked John Luke out?
Well, you should have done, but for some reason no, you haven't. No, you haven't. You come underneath.
How's that come on? I've got the same points.
Yeah, because
but it's newer.
First in, last out.
Yeah,
last in, first out. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway,
whoever programmed this thing needs to be taken out the back and shot.
So,
I think standing up very well.
Yeah, standing up very well. So there you go.
Well, you can't argue this is distinctive as the Enterprise.
Yeah, you are literally.
No, it's fair.
You are literally sitting right on.
Knocking on the door.
You are knocking on the door. Home 1, sitting right underneath the Enterprise D. So you are actually number 11 in the charts.
Hey.
There you go. I thought.
Thank you, sir.
And for what it's worth, you pushed the Defiant down by 1 as well.
Oh no!
So it's number 12. So there you go. That's a double win for you.
I think for all of us.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a win for sanity and and good
spaceships
taste.
across the land.
and people with irritable bowel syndrome throughout the land.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great symbol of hope. Anyway, so that's home
God bless
one.
you, Imodium. God bless you.
God bless you. Yeah. Just take a minute out. Anyway, so that's it. So that's home one done and done. So let's move on to our next ship. And what do you have, Pete?
Okay, I'm bringing Kosh's ship from Babylon 5. Kosh,
I will give you a bonus point if you do this entirely in the style of Kosh.
Yeah, okay. That actually requires me making less sense than normal, which I'm not going to manage for.
You've not had enough beer yet, have you? All right.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah. What are you going to give me for speed? The pebbles have already begun to roll.
Actually, it's me down the pub the other night. The hat!
And what do you think of that then? Yes.
Yeah. Will you give it anything for firepower? Yes. Go on and carry on, sir.
So, the Vorlons, of course, one of the old bonds, massively powerful and ancient races with a penchant for gnomic utterances, and looking like angels when they're not hidden away in their encounter suits. Kosh was the ambassador to Babylon 5 and arrived in his Vorlon transport ship with a squid-like appearance, in common with most Vorlon ships, equipped with what look like 4 massive solar sails at the rear that fold out in transit and make it the most pleasing of the Vorlon ships to look at, as far as I'm concerned. As the others are just generally just either squids, or in the case of the Planet Killer, a squid crossed with a hamburger. Isn't it?
Calamari burger.
Yep.
Calamari burger, yeah.
Fish burger.
Filet-o fish.
Yes.
That sounds like an answer from Kosh, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Little fish.
The ship was in some way part of Kosh, apparently. And
It was his wang.
no, it was not.
And there goes the 4th pint, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second half of the podcast.
Like every wang, it committed suicide after his death,
Well,
flying into a nearby star. Spoilers for a 20-year-old series. And yes, that's probably a new low for me, picking a ship that actively chooses to fly into a sun, but there you go.
I knew you were going to pick it at some point.
Yeah, it's a good work. I mean, if you're going to, go big or go home, innit?
Yeah. Oh dear. Having arrived in the pilot, she spent most of her time in one of the docking bays, sending repair crews mad by talking to them in her sleep. Generally, she was the ambassador's private ride, but was used to transport telepath Lita Alexander, who'd been touched by the Vorlons.
Fanar.
Show us on the dial whether Vorlon touched you.
And visited their homeworld. As with all the effects in Babylon 5, she was rendered in very early CGI, although that kind of suit the living matter she was supposed to be made of. And you've got the changing patterns on her hull, which of course they couldn't have really done with a model, so... But unfortunately, we don't particularly see her in action. That's like some piece of bad planning on my part I discovered as I started doing the research. We see her fly, but we don't see her actually attack anything.
All we see her do is fly and commit suicide and occasionally change colour on its panels.
It looks pretty.
Sounds about right for a Pete ship, yeah.
That's a sort of probe thing that comes out, but that looks too much like a wang and... Oh dear. Anyway, shall we try and put some numbers on this?
Good luck.
Not the
can
wang,
try.
just the ship.
Yeah. On your spotty yellow sun crashing wang. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Let's think about size, shall we?
Yeah, that's a good start.
Erect or flaccid?
It's a grower, not a shower.
Depends on how cold space is, all right?
Wow. And there, ladies and gentlemen, you can hear the wheels sailing off over the horizon, sweeping majestically across the plains. Anyway, go on in.
131 metres in length, apparently. So a mighty one.
Oh, wow.
Off to a flying start as ever.
Yeah, that's a good start. Go on in.
Speed, sublight, As we already mentioned, the White Star got 4, and she ain't as fast as that. I'm willing to throw a 3 in there, but I throw myself on other people's decisions.
Couldn't it generate its own jump gate?
Yeah, but that comes under FTL.
Yeah, it comes under FTL anyway.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm happy giving it a 3.
Yeah, it's kind of a Corvette type, isn't it?
Well, it's not even that. I mean, this is literally a shuttle.
Well, it's a bit bigger than that, but
It's a big shuttle.
yes.
It's a shuttle bus.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Kosh's personal RV.
It's Kosh's personal mega bus. Yeah, nice. With the guy
only £1 to ride.
That's it. With a guy with a big hat. Anyway, go on, carry on.
FTL, we got 3 for jump gate technology.
Yep.
Maneuverability, we don't see it do an awful lot, to be honest. So 1 or 2.
Hang on, FTL, is it making its own jump gate or just using existing ones? Because that makes a difference.
It makes a difference, but it can. We see other Vorlon ships
making their own
all
jump
do it. It's heavily implied these Vorlon ships can do it themselves.
Fine.
I can't remember if a specific episode they don't, but I'm willing.
We've seen them come out of warp gates and jump gates in when similar ships are accompanying the planet killer.
Actually, no, we do see because it one before Kosh bites the dust. You see transports coming out then, or are they dreadnoughts? Can't remember.
When it attacks the shadow ship.
Yeah, you're fine. 3 is fine.
Yep.
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah. No, I was thinking, but yeah, it does.
Back to maneuverability then.
I would say 2.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, I'm happy with a 2.
Because you do see them during the battles later on in the series, basically actually pulling turns. Not necessarily super fast turns, but turns nonetheless.
Unfortunately, the ones that you see in the battles aren't generally the transport ships. They're the larger...
See, this is why I was asking about the jump gates. The one you see in the battles generating their own jump gates are the bigger ones. This is the transport ship that's littler, and I'm questioning whether it can...
Yeah, she makes an excellent... I've just found a picture of Vorlon ships, and yeah, there was... Well, they just call... Frigates and destroyers are different to the transports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And...
No, I'm not saying it can't. I'm just saying, I'm asking the question, can it? If it's a little ship, can it generate its own jump gate? Because when they're talking about the White Star, they mentioned that it's highly unusual for a ship its size to be able to generate one, which makes me question whether... It doesn't mean it can't.
I was working on the basis I thought Vorlon ships all could. I thought they said at some point, but I could be wrong on that.
It raises a good point, I don't know off the top of my head if we ever see one do it.
But I thought that was the ship that got Kosh, ship attacking the Shadow was his shuttle, which got
No,
Kosh
that's
killed.
a big
No,
issue.
it's hang about. I'll send you this image here into the chat. It's a frigate that you see attacking the Shadow ship.
Blimey.
It's an easy mistake to make on account of they all look the sodding same.
They all look the fucking same. This is the Klingon thing all over again. We just made it slightly bigger and called it a different thing.
Yeah, and took off the nice solar sails, it has to be said.
Yeah. No, they have they're just closed there in that picture.
I mean, looking at this picture you've given us, what is the difference between a heavy cruiser, another heavy cruiser, and a super dreadnought, really?
Shut up, that's why.
Exactly. And a light cruiser. I mean, there's no fucking difference at all, this is just bobbins. Whoever made this just had a cut and paste stamp. Oh, dear. Anyway, I guess this is for some sort of game, is it, or something?
It might be from Into the Fire.
Yeah.
Which was cancelled, but, still.
And was the best place for it, clearly.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So, okay, well, we'll leave it as 3 for the moment until we find some corroborating evidence either way.
We can trash it down the pub later, fair enough.
Yeah, okay, I'll put a grey block of that. Grey block of discussion is going on the 3. Okay.
And there may be folk out there who already know the answer, of course, so do feel free to let us know.
Yeah, do on the Facebook group or on Twitter, let us know, and we'll amend it as fit.
Okay, I found video footage. I mean, they're all seemingly using a single jump gate, but they're not using a fixed jump gate. And it looks like there's transports in there, so let's just say yes until someone complains.
Okay, I'm not going to click on it, because if I click on it, you'll all hear
There's no audio, but anyway.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not hearing any audio, so if there is, I'm not...
No, there isn't any audio. Yeah, I'm watching them. Here they come. Yeah, they're all just whizzing out. I'm actually feeling good about the speeds. Oh, yeah, who opened the wormhole? Yeah, there's another one.
Well, but it's not a fixed gate, so...
Oh, look.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's move on.
Yeah, shadow dancing when they all come out as well, yeah. There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
So there you go, you're fine.
Yeah.
Whew.
Cool.
Firepower?
Firepower.
Wait, did we do maneuverability yet? Oh, yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
Yeah, we
gave
did.
it 2, didn't we?
Gave it 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so go on in.
But according to the wiki, she's armed with fusion combo beam pulse cannon, which sounds like a McDonald's meal gone
They're
wrong.
all English words, obviously, but...
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, generally, ball-on weapons seem to one-shot their foes, but sadly we never see one of these transport ships actually fire in anger. So I suspect a 1 might be needed for this one.
Unfortunately, probably. I imagine, again, I'm sure somewhere secreted about the internet is something that's going to say that they've got the, all weapons.
Well,
all volume
if I
weapons
can
are the
refer
same.
us back to that video I just sent across, and if you can go to... where is it? 16 seconds in, just after they come out of a jump gate.
Okay, that's...
In fact, no, sorry, 26 seconds in.
Yeah, this is when they're coming out of the jump gate
Yeah.
from the episode.
26 seconds in. Is that the transport firing?
No, it's red.
It's red, but the colour's irrelevant. Is that ship, or is it the larger one, the frigate?
I don't know, because it literally shoots the shit out of...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I'm trying to find a picture of... Because Evil Kosh's ship was the darker colour, and actually looking at Ulkesh's one...
Actually, even the fighters are giving it some, so... Yeah.
I think that's a transport firing there, and that's effectively fucking up a shadow ship.
Yeah, in a single shot.
Yeah.
That's a 10.
Woo, bloody hell. Okay, wasn't expecting that.
Well, take it while we're giving it out.
Indeed, I will. What's that clip from, then?
Shadow Dancing.
Shadow Dancing.
The episode Shadow Dancing.
All right, I shall have to look into that.
That is the one which... That's after Sheridan guilts Kosh into helping.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
And,
Unless you get off your encounter-suited butts and do something. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then impudence.
Yes.
So there you go. Anyway, sorry. That's it.
Defence.
Yes. Defence.
Not aware of any active defence.
No, none. Well, actually, you say that.
Mm-hmm.
What about when they all try and get on board the ship in the first episode, and that sort of eye arm thing comes out of the comes out?
It's got something called Vorlon defense systems. We have no idea what they are, but
Yeah, no, that's really helpful, isn't it?
it kind of I think you could get a 1 just because it is
Alive.
capable of messing you up.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to lodge it as 1 for special because it does have an intelligence of its own. So do you think that's probably...
That's a different one. I mean, I would say 1 for the active because, like I say, the instant they go to get on, the security guards of B5 go on board the ship, the skin of the ship actually morphs into a weapon that's looking at them and basically, essentially is telling them, fuck off. So I would say that, if you got that, then you've got the ability to do that.
Cool. So that's 1 for active.
Yep.
Passive, again, we have the problem that I don't think there are shields in Babylon 5 particularly, but it's got at least heavy armour, so that's 2.
Oh, these are tough old birds, though, aren't they?
Yeah, and we do see in that clip in Shadow Dancing that the big super dreadnoughts do have shields because the shadow shoots it and it basically just
Well, the Vorlon ships, their skin, it's not so much shield so much as it's the skin itself's kind of the shield, effectively. I mean, I think a 3, you might even be able to argue a 4 if we were feeling generous. We're not. But if we were, we could have done.
3 is fine. That's generous enough for me.
Cool.
And special, as I say, I was going to argue for 1 on the fact that it's got its own intelligence.
You could get another one as well because these are capable of self-repair.
Yeah.
That's true. They do heal up, don't they? Yes. That's
And
true.
they have Vorlons on board.
But they have Vorlon.
Well, I would say Vorlon is essentially a weapon on board. You can't board the blasted thing, can you?
But that's the crew, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
haven't we done that for crew before, or is that just soldiers?
That's just soldiers.
So,
you can't have it as a special if it's...
Okay. Okay, no,
Well,
fair enough.
I don't know quite where you put this, but you've got that episode, and I don't know what it's called, but where they have to hide that bloke, and they hide him on Kosh's ship, and Kosh gives permission, and then the ship lets him in, but he's asleep the whole time. You can't get in the fucking thing unless it wants you in.
Well, to be fair, any ship you don't have the bleeper.
If you don't have the keys to get in.
I suppose.
It's called a key.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
This
It's
one
just
just has slightly
Standing
more
outside of a Nostromo. Blip, blip. The bloody beeper's gone.
Fuck.
Someone get me a coat hanger.
Okay, so let's move on. So that was 2 for special. So
Yep.
on to size of the crew,
Which is 1.
1. So that's a 1. And competence of the crew.
Oh, what we don't see Kosh, sort of Captain Kosh, do we? Let's face it. So it's a bit difficult to judge this one, isn't it?
Well, they are godlike beings. I mean, what do we give the shadows? I mean, that's a question.
Well, the shadow we gave.
But then I guess that we gave that 3 because it was kind of a brainless ship until
Yeah, it depends on the telepath that was stuck into the thing. I mean, Kosh himself is reasonably competent for the most part.
Yep.
I mean, if you wanted to ask for 4, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Wow.
No, I wouldn't have a problem with that either.
If it was evil
Okay,
Kosh, I'd have a problem.
excellent.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, if it was Kosh, not Kosh.
yeah.
Because if it was Kosh, then I'd have a problem.
Yes, but because it's Kosh, it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
Hey, 4 for competence. Way.
Sassafras. Excellent.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd say I've done a little bit of looking on the wiki.
Yeah.
And you know that Agamemnon,
Yes.
well, it doesn't list that as jump capable, and it does list Kosh's transport as jump capable. So I think it's making its own jump gate.
But if that's the case, we've seen the Agamemnon make a jump.
No, that's making a jump using an existing jump gate. not
We see
creating one.
Agamemnon do it jump. We see it do it without an existing jump gate. We see
Yeah.
it.
So it's just a crap wiki then.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Such things are known.
Yeah.
It's funny how often we come across these.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
In fact, in the last ship, it contradicted itself.
Yes.
Yeah, 3 times.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. This is going to be an interesting one. Exterior realization.
Well,
Now, I want you to picture me right now. You know, Inglourious Bastards, Christopher Waltz. I've got a phone in front of me. What are you going to give it, Pete?
I'm going for 2 for rather groggy old CGI.
2 you shall have. I think it's bloody awful.
Yeah. I mean, again, they could only do it by CGI because there's no way of doing all those patterns. But CGI wasn't really up to it back in the day.
No, and certainly with those solar sails, which have no shine information on them whatsoever, they just have a flat coloured texture. It's just bloody awful. It really is awful ship. Sorry. Anyway, interior we never see.
No.
Does it make a point of us never seeing it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a 0.
Or is it 1 for unknown?
No, it's 0 if you don't
0
see
if you
anything.
don't see it.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think we've ever had a ship with. Oh yes, we have the Shadow Battle Crab. We did the 0 as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think we can give something 0 if we never actually see it. I think that's
Okay.
a fair
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
system.
exactly.
And in terms of science, this is a living ship, so I think it definitely needs to have a 1.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
makes me wonder, in my more devilish thing, now that we got to this point.
You, Lee? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm shocked.
Is
This has nothing to do with the fact that you've got a living ship coming up, is it?
Oh well, I've got information and proof. I'm all right. Is this ship actually eligible, given that it is piloting itself?
Yes and no. Basically, as soon as its owner dies, it then commits suicide, so it can't really go on without him.
Ooh. I would refer the honourable gentleman to the case of Evil Kosh's ship, or Ulkesh's ship, if you will, who, after he dies, his ship sticks around,
Does quite well.
eventually finding itself embedded in a Earth Force Warlock destroyer to counteract the Shadow Tech inside.
Is way past my remembrance of Babylon 5. So.
My point is, though, that's not always the case. The ships don't always. Kosh's one did. Kosh's
But
one.
maybe this is the whole crew competence thing. Kosh's ship knew what it was supposed to do because it had Kosh as its captain. Whereas Olkesh's ship was a bit fucked up because so was Olkesh.
I think the thing is, though, I think it's eligible just because we've established you can have a ship which can operate on its own as long as it's intended for a crew or a crew is nominally required to operate it, it's eligible.
Okay.
Because we've had other instances of ships where...
My point is, I'm doing Kosh's ship, and Kosh's ship was so tied to Kosh that when Kosh died, it flew into a sun.
Right.
Red Dwarf, for example, is...
Yeah.
Does it really need the lister on there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. I'm letting it go. I just suddenly had a sudden realization that if it was flying and doing all these things without Kosh, then does it actually need a crew? Ergo, is it actually a pilotable ship?
It's.
I think it's fair to say it can, but it was designed to be Kosh's and to be piloted by Kosh.
This is the mark of where the cutoff is, if you will.
Yeah.
Because anything below this, you're getting into Reaper territory and stuff like that, where the crew is just. It's not a crew; it's an incumbence. It's what the fuck are you doing inside me?
Yes, exactly. Okay, so on to the cool factor then. So, Pete, out of your 4, what are you going to give it?
I'm going to give it 3. It definitely loses a mark because of the slightly old CGI, to say the least. I mean, it's nicely mysterious. The downside with that is that, therefore, you don't know enough about it to give it decent scores. So, yeah, 3 out of 4 for me.
Okay, Anne-Marie.
I'm going to give it 1 because you can't really tell the difference between this one and the other ones.
Okay. And Andy.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 1 as well. It just doesn't make... It's cool in so much as it was different and the whole flowy kind of texture thing was very nice, but it was surpassed by better ships in Babylon 5, like the Battle Crabs, like the Shalins and stuff like that later on. And I mean, this was one of the earlier ships that Ron did for Babylon 5, but they did better stuff later on.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 2. And the reason I'm going to give it 2 is because if we were doing a cool score with 3 of us, I would have given it 2. So 2, as far as I'm concerned, is a 2. So that'll
be 2 then.
So that'll be so that's 7. Which gives the Vorlon transport, Kosh's Vorlon transport to be specific, 40 points. There
That's
you go.
good for him.
That is pretty good for me, actually.
Yeah, for a ship that not only crashes but crashes into a sun.
Yeah.
Deliberately.
Yeah. I mean, it's keeping up sort of like, sort of standards for Pete's entries, but it puts it around the same score as the USS Cygnus, slightly above the Red Dwarf, and 1 point underneath the Martian Maggot.
Oh, my life.
Oh, awesome.
And 1 point underneath Babylon 4.
Oh, interesting.
There you go. And the Nostromo and the Milano, which makes me a bit cross, but there you go. Anyway, moving on. So there you go. So that's the Vorlon transport from Babylon 5. Now it's time for Welcome to Crazy Land. With my ship, which is the Zerg Leviathan from Starcraft, Heart of the Swarm. The Zerg, for those of you who don't know, are... Hello.
Hello. I only know Zerg from Toy Story.
Oh, no.
Not Emperor Zerg.
Not Emperor Zerg. No. Zerg, as in Zergs, are essentially... here we go. They are
Pete, do you know what Tyranids are?
Yeah, Tyranids.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
When I saw the picture, that's immediately what I thought.
They are essentially that. They are Tyranids by any other measure. They're, to use the description from the BattleNet, which is the sort of Blizzard StarCraft servers, the Zerg is a terrifying, ruthless amalgamation of biologically advanced anthropoidal aliens dedicated to the pursuit of genetic perfection. The Zerg relentlessly hunt down and assimilate advanced species across the galaxy, incorporating useful genetic code into their own. They are normally referred to as the Swarm, per their ability to rapidly create strains and evolve, and their relentless assaults to overwhelm their foes by sheer numbers. The Zerg stand as one of the 3 dominant species of the Milky Way in the StarCraft universe, and are universally feared and hated and hunted down wherever they are found. And the swarm itself makes up a third of the power of the entire sector where Starcraft takes place, which is called the Koprulu sector, for those of you who care. And the Zerg remain in the areas outside of the galaxy and are a space-faring species. The Leviathan itself is an enormous Zerg beast, which has been assimilated from another space-faring alien, just referred to as a Leviathan. The Leviathan is an enormous Zerg beast that serves as a swarm's living spaceship, capable of sustained flight and spaceflight. The Leviathan's body is designed to transport and sustain large swarms of Zerg through interplanetary travel. Dwarfing most other vessels in the series, the Leviathan is over 10 kilometres long, and some have been rumoured, so I can't use it unfortunately, to be the size of a moon. It is capable...
That's no moon, it's a bug.
Yeah, unfortunately you wouldn't see one of these things and think, that's a moon. It's like, no, it's like a huge blobby testicle, purple testicle. With.
Yeah, you might want to go and get that looked at, mate.
Yeah, you might want to go and get that sorted.
It's funny because mine are just like moons.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, something orbiting.
Does that mean they're made
them.
of cheese?
Yeah, they're just very pot-marked.
Yeah, and affect the tides and various. No, never mind. Anyway, the Leviathan itself, as a creature, is capable of enduring blistering heat and bitter cold of interstellar travel, and is able to traverse through harsh environments in space. The Leviathan also brings the swarm with it, and is one of the most feared creatures in the galaxy, and is also known to be the harbinger of the end of the world if it's ever seen in your orbit. Its weaponry is organic and extensive, and basically a bit weird, but people have tried to explain how these things work in real world terms, and it really, science is going to be like fat fucking zero, to be honest. But one of the things it does have, it has impaler tentacles, which are tentacles that leap out from the ship and are capable of essentially impaling anything. They can leap out to their entire length of their body again, so they can go up to 10 kilometres out. Literally loop through a ship and basically smash through anything they come across. Then there's bile swarms, which is a living bioweapon. The Leviathan can launch these missile-like swarms at enemy aircraft and bring them down in a single shot. Bioplasmid charges, which is another ball of spitting bioenergy, which can deal massive damage, and the 2 or 3 shots can take down a capital ship quite easily. They have biostasis, which is the ability to trap organic matter and basically make them, essentially asleep and freeze them, make them unable to move. And then they can also spawn as many troops as they want, including things such as the Mutalisk, which looks very much like an alien queen if it was crossed with a snake. Not exactly a great thing to come across. And the Broodlord, which is like basically if you took the alien queen, crossed it with King Kong, and then basically gave it some spikes and some awkward walk, that would pretty much be it. The ship is known. Well, like I say, the ship can do hypersonic flight. It has the ability. Someone said it's got a small island level durability, which means it cannot be hurt. I don't know what a small island level. I think it basically means it's like trying to punch a planet. And it's piloted in Heart of the Swarm by Sarah Kerrigan, who is one of the heroes from Starcraft who got taken by the Swarm and been basically mutated into their queen.
I was going to say, you need to put the old finger quotes over here, don't you?
What do you mean? What do you mean? Go on.
No, I'm just saying the hero.
Well, yeah, she was in the original game.
For like the first 3 levels.
Yeah, you play her as a ghost, and she goes around sniping everything, and then gets taken, and then it's basically got extremely high.
Becomes the Queen of Blades.
Yeah, it becomes the Queen of Blades and all that kind of stuff. So it has massive impaler tentacles, biosacs cocoons that can spawn armies and fighters at will, and other evolutionary organic weaponry, including evolution pits, which can actually turn other people's crew against them by basically firing shit. It's basically like firing the black goo from Prometheus at people and then having it basically mutate them into something horrible that attacks their own people. So there you go. That's about as much as you're going to get out of me on this stuff, because after that, it's all guesswork. So
You mean that wasn't all guesswork?
no, that was not all guesswork. You have no idea how many fucking tabs and research and Battle.net and fucking forums on Starcraft forums and Reddit pages I've had to trawl through to get all of that.
Well, I can sympathise because I just played through all of bloody Wings of Liberty and then found out it's the wrong bloody game.
I told you, it's
no.
Heart of the Swarm, man. Heart of the Swarm.
Yeah, I know that now, so I had to sit and watch that, which I didn't mind because it's still cool, but, it's like a 3-hour-long bloody video.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's rate this bugger then, shall we? Right. Well, its size is, at a minimum, 10 kilometres. I'd love to say a moon size, but it's not. It's 10 kilometres as far as anyone's concerned, which puts that at 9.
Well, yeah, I mean, the best picture I found on it is next to the Hyperion, and...
Oh, no, it's not 9, is it? What am I talking about? 10 kilometres is... 10 kilometres is 12. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'd say about 10.
10 kilometres.
Because the Hyperion's about 1.
Yeah, and it's huge.
And I don't know if Pete and Anne-Marie have seen this, so I'll just send them a picture.
Send them a picture.
Here you go.
Tra-la-la-la-la.
You know what you're doing.
No, we haven't a clue, mate.
No,
we just
I
make
wasn't
it
doing
go along.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
That one?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Ah, that's the one I showed you earlier.
Yeah, but it's got the scale as well as the mutant fucking purple goat. It's got scale.
There you go. Well, anyway, that's that.
There you go.
There you go. That's a thing. That's a thing that happened. Right, so now, here we go. We're into the bumpy ride now, ladies and gentlemen.
Hang on to your butts.
This is going to be a bumpy ride. Let me close all the Vorlon stuff off I've got open here. I've got to go through so many fucking tabs. You have no idea. Right. Zerg Leviathan, blah, 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 blah. Right. As far as the speed is concerned, it's a spacefaring ship.
Bug.
But it really you only ever see it kind of trundling along. So, I mean, I guess we've got to just go for 1 because we have absolutely no idea.
The fastest you see it is in that the video that still comes from when it's heading away with a Hyperion.
Yeah.
And it's not going particularly fast.
No.
I mean, it's not going... the Hyperion's keeping up with it, and that's about it. So, yeah.
Now, the FTL is a lot easier because it does have the ability to open psychically, thanks to its connection to the Overmind and to Kerrigan. Basically, the ability to open a warp gate and literally slip on through and pop out the other side wherever, seemingly instantaneously, but we have no real reference. So that's a 3.
Yeah, you can have a 3.
Yep, makes sense to me. That's like Warhammer, isn't it?
Yeah. It literally it opens a warp. It just slips into the warp, and then 5 minutes later, you see it slip out of the warp.
Yeah.
But there you go.
That all the Solanishi business happening in between.
Yeah, without the weird, sexy Solanishi stuff. But then again, if you
ever... this comes with Solanishis built in as standard.
I was going to say, if you look up Kerrigan, Queen of Blades, there's definitely some Slanesh stuff.
Some interesting dreadlocks going on there.
Yeah.
Is this safe Googling, I wonder?
It is safe Googling, yeah. Just go Kerrigan, Queen of Blades. And just avoid the cosplay, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, sorry, Kerrigan, Queen of Blades. I'm just going to see if I can find one. Here we go, Queen.
There we are.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
Very corn. Mm.
Yeah.
Cornate booby lady.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, it gets, like I say, start looking up all the cosplay stuff and you get into, just...
You go blind, do you?
Yeah, eventually. Till you fall off your chair. Anyway, so maneuverability, it's a brickiest brick that ever bricked a brick is a 1. So, on to firepower. Now, firepower is a really odd one. I mean, it has the tentacles that leap out, can leap through capital ships and basically pierce them. It has these other things that can shoot capital ships that, what was it fucking called again?
You got the biles.
Bile swarms can take out fighters and bring them down. Impaler tentacles, bioplasmic charges, which do massive damage to ground troops and airborne troops. But there's nothing really, beyond the Impaler tentacles, nothing really kind of actually is described as saying taking care of big ships.
And also with the Impaler, I mean, again, it can go its length of its body, but you're kind of limited in how you can use them, aren't you?
Yeah, well,
you've got to get up close to it.
Yeah, you've got to be within 10 kilometers of your target. But I mean, I suppose in video game terms that really doesn't matter. But in the terms of like, if we're talking about a ship, then it does. So it's kind of a weird one. In one way, the ship can do a massive amount of damage in one single shot, which would put it at a sort of a 10. But on the other hand, you have to be in specific circumstances to do it.
Yeah.
So how do we feel about that kind of thing?
Let's have a look what we've got on our...
I suppose another way of looking at it would be the Death Star in terms of... Not in terms of damage it does, but in terms of the fact that you have to have a specific... You have to be in firing range, you have to have been charged up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can't just fire it instantly, can you?
No, you can't just like fling this stuff around. I mean...
No.
The Zerg Leviathan is a creature. It's like I guess the implication is it gets tired, but
well, also it's you can dodge those. I mean, again, if you're a nimble enough ship, because those Hyperion battle cruisers, whatever you call them, the Gorgon class, whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not exactly. They're pretty nippy for Terran capital ships.
Yeah, but nevertheless, a 10 kilometer spike going straight through your hull's not.
Yeah, but my point is still, you've got to hit it. Was what I was coming to. I mean, I don't know. I think a 10 doesn't feel right. I'm not being awkward. I just say it just doesn't feel right. But I don't know. I don't know how to quantify it outside of that. So
I mean, that's the. I guess that's. I mean, I know that you guys, Pete and Marie. I know you've got no frame of reference at all. But another way of looking at it would be like if it was a person, it would be a person throwing a punch. But that punch, if it hits you, basically goes right through you.
But it's fairly easy to deflect or avoid.
No, if you're within 10 kilometers, it's the same as like literally you see the target, you point at the target, you fire at the target is hit. You can't avoid it once you're in the firing range.
What is the firing range?
Well, I mean,
10 kilometers.
10 kilometers.
So you stand at 11
I'm not very good at kilometres. What's that in miles?
8 miles.
About 8 miles, yeah.
Bloody hell. Okay. See, I think to me that does sound quite scary. If you're within 8 miles of this thing, it's going to kill you.
Yeah. With a single punch.
Well, what do you want? What do you want for it?
Well, I was going to say a 9 or a 10 because I mean it does. Once it hits you, you're fucked. That's the end of it. It doesn't matter what you're in, you're fucked. I mean, there's a reason it's one of the end of the level sort of monsters, demons.
Yeah, I mean, I think we need to. You'll appreciate this. We've got to take it on what it's allegedly capable of doing, not what you see it doing in the game. Just because in the game it's
it's reduced.
You know what I'm saying is, I'm trying to. What you see it doing in the actual game is not as impressive as what it's supposedly able to do. So, yeah, I mean, I think I'd probably say more than 8, but I'm happy to give you 9. I'm cool with that. 10 just doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, like I say, I'm all up for that. That's fine. 9. What about you, Pete? I mean, I know you've got no frame of reference, but listening to what you're hearing, what you think?
Blah blah blah.
Wake up!
Blah blah blah.
That's what you
9.
think.
Give it 9. Let's move on.
Okay, fair enough. 9. Okay, defense active. Well, it has these bile swarm things which can shoot down
those
fighters.
as well. I went to see the doctor.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, nice.
Yeah, just think of them as point defense.
Yeah, so that's point defense. So that's 1. Now I won't go into further on that one. Passive defense. Well, it's alive. It can repair itself.
Oh, mate, just take. I think the thing's nigh on indestructible.
Yeah, it's fucking. So I'm asking for a 4 on that one.
Yeah, happy with that.
Okay, and special. Now we have the fact it can generate its own army and then a seemingly endless amount of army. But
I think that as that goes though, I've always read that it's just they're so big they're just carrying so many people. I don't think it's generating them itself as such. I think it's more it just has so many troops at its disposal.
Okay, right, fair enough.
Just again from how big the thing is.
It's got a lot of ground troops.
It does.
Yes,
but it still counts as only 1, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but it's just I don't think it's a case of it's spawning them, as you say. I think it's just so big, it's just carrying them. And because in the game, it's like 4x4 pixel thing. whereas a person's a 2x2 pixel. So it's it's just the way they get around that.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'm happy to give you a point for that one, definitely.
Okay, and also 1 point for biostasis, in which case it can basically change. It can basically evolve and change any organic material it basically shoots at into its own troops, essentially. So
yeah,
like the Borg then, because it did sound a bit Borgish.
Yeah, it does have a Borgy vibe. It's not quite as unstoppable as the Borg, but because when Kerrigan, the female heroine of the first game, gets caught, basically after a while, she can exert her sort of will upon them.
Okay.
And control them, so they're not quite like, where, that would be like Picard getting in there and going, no, you won't blow up the Enterprise and you'll fly off into space. Thank you very much. Goodbye. So, yeah, anyway, that's another point. So that's, so that's 2 for special. Size of the crew. Well, that's the difficult one because it needs an overmind or a queen, or in this case Kerrigan, and after that the ship just sort of like is a living thing. So it's
it's still a somewhat sentient thing. It's just it's just Kerrigan or the overmind, or what are they called? The other things.
The brood master. Oh god, I can't remember.
You know the things I mean, though.
Yes.
But it's effectively a crew of one because it's someone bending it to its will.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you see later on when the Overmind dies or when Kerrigan goes, the Swarm just goes and does its own thing.
Yeah, it goes mental, basically.
Yeah.
So that's 1. Competence. Well, we got to take the video game competence, I guess, aren't we? So we're doing the you are a video game player playing this thing.
I think so. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a weird one because would you say you play as Kerrigan in Heart of the Swarm, or are you playing as
you play as
agent?
Well, you're playing thing.
Is you're playing her as that thing again, which I can't remember the name of it. It's not Arbiter, but it's that sort of a thing.
The Avatar.
Is it the Avatar?
No. Yeah, I know what you mean. Though.
You know what I'm saying? Hang about this.
Anyway, the thing is, it's a video game character that you are essentially moving around. So its competence is basically your competence, and I think
what do we plant computer games at?
I think we wasn't it 4?
Yeah, I think we planted that as 4 by default, so you don't get a
Well, again, a good player is going to do well, and a shit player is going to do shit.
Exactly. Okay, exterior realization. Bring out the kicking boots. Here we go. You only ever see it as a CG model or a painting, so your mileage is going to purely vary on that. I throw myself on the mercy of the court on this one. I mean, some of the stuff that you see in the Blur videos, I think looks lovely, but it doesn't look real by any means. Some of the stuff in the game looks a bit shit, and so I'd split the difference and ask for 3.
I'd give you a 3 based off of mostly the image and that sequence from the Heart of the Swarm video. It's very kind of high-def Babylon 5-y in the way it's been rendered with Blur Studios. Yeah. It's the same quality of stuff they did for Halo Wars and the Spirit of Fire, but again, bugs and stuff like that and organics. Yeah. The design for me is a little bit
bulbous.
And it's certainly inconsistent compared to both what you see in StarCraft and StarCraft 2. And I know that's a technology thing, but if someone showed me the Leviathan or the motherships, what have you, from StarCraft 1, and then showed me the same units in StarCraft 2, I wouldn't know they're the same thing. Well, that applies to all of the units in StarCraft, though.
Yeah, that's just because they just get redone. But the Leviathan just... because I know we'll get letters otherwise, but Leviathan only features in StarCraft 2.
It's the mothership.
We get letters? Do we have a postal box?
No, not yet, but I'm sure someone would find...
It's Vicarage, Lewisham Church.
Go on in. So, Pete and Anne-Marie, what do you think? I mean, I am going for a 3.
Yeah, I mean, that picture you sent, it's interesting. It looks like a purple spleen. It doesn't look particularly real, but then a giant purple spleen isn't going to look particularly real.
No.
So yeah, I'm somewhere between 2 and 3, I think.
Yeah.
What thinks you?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I was gonna go for 3 because I was gonna push it, but I mean, I can't sit there and look at other things and go, no, the CG's a bit shit here and a bit shit here, and then suddenly and suddenly do the same, take the same excuses, and then go no, mine shall get 4. So yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying that I think the blur thing is it as its best. That's its best representation, and in those, I'm happy with a 3. I mean, if we were just taking it solely off of that, you might even be able to argue up to a 4. But I think as a whole, 3's a good place for it.
Anne-Marie? Okay. I'll let you go back to sleep then.
Yeah, okay, fine. Fine. Moving on. I'll settle for 3 unless Pete really wants to argue it down to a 2, but I'm quite happy with that if you want to do that.
I've seen far worse video game stuff, so yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So 3 it is. Interior, we only get one single image, which has different characters replaced in the image. It's not exactly super duper whizzy bang. I'm only going to ask for 1.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you want to recreate the look, if you go and have a camera shoved up your backside, it's much the same.
Yeah, and if you really want to sort of go for it, you just basically put a little weird sunset in the background as well. So 1, I'm not even going to talk about that. Science, science.
Moon-sized bugs.
Yeah. Moon-sized bugs and overminds and psychic warp gates. I mean, it's fuck off. That's
we'll be generous with the 1.
I think 1 is generous, very generous. Cool factor. Okay, well, I'm gonna take 3 for this out of my 4, because I think it looks really cool in terms of what it is, but it's not the greatest ship I've ever seen, and I've seen better organic ships as well. So 3 for me. What about you, Pete?
It's a 1, screaming 1 at me. Definitely.
Screaming 1 at you. Fine.
Compared to some of the scores you've given me for game ships, I'd take that as a massive compliment.
I was going to say, this one isn't bad, but maybe because it's being organic rather than being a spaceship, interestingly. I don't know, but yeah.
Anne-Marie?
I think, for me, it's a 1 because it's weird.
Oh.
So it wasn't going to get my full 2 because it's too weird for that.
No,
but
that's fair enough.
So, on that basis.
Okay, and Andy?
I'll give it a 1, but mostly because I hate the fucking Zerg.
Yeah. I have to say that with the Zerg, I always have my story of when I played Starcraft so much that I started to hallucinate them. That was the worst. That was the worst day. I literally played Starcraft so much I did 24 hours of it, and then I was out of work for about a week or 2 weeks, and I was waiting for an interview to come through. And I sat there and I started playing this game and I played it to death and I had my headphones on. And whenever you select a Zerg unit, it goes, wah. And then I remember going to do some shopping, getting out of the house, going to do some shopping. And there was some grit behind the steering wheel of my car because my car was kind of old and decrepit. And every time I turned the steering wheel, it went, wah, wah. And I'm thinking, they're fucking in the car. And then I started seeing them in the patterns in the pavement and patterns in the carpet, and that's when I knew I had to stop playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, so away from that strange moment of psychosis, the Zerg Leviathan has scored 49 points, putting it into the same same as the USS Voyager. Oh my god! And the CNV 301 Dreadnought and the HMS Fearless. So there you go. It does beat Chang's Bird of Prey and a Destiny, and it's not as good as the Vogon's Constructor Fleet, sorry, and the Narada. So there you go.
Oh.
So scores work vaguely. So, but that means that in first place with Home 1 was Andy. Second place with the Mimbari Shalin was Anne-Marie. And third place was me with the Zerg Leviathan. And sitting in the fourth place and last,
flying into the sun
was Pete with his Volon transport. Well, there you go. And once again, balance has been restored to the Force.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. Now, it just leaves it to us to work out what we're going to be doing next time. Andy, so what are you bringing?
I'm going to bring the Glorious Heritage class Andromeda Ascendant.
Oh, from Andromeda.
Yep.
Okay, with extra Kevin Sorbo.
All the Sorbo you can manage.
Lemon Sorbo, orange Sorbo.
Strawberry Sorbo.
Yeah.
He's the mango Sorbo.
It's a sorbet special.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be bringing the Gunstar from The Last Starfighter.
Ooh, nice choice.
There
Cool.
you go.
Yeah.
And what about you, Pete? What are you bringing?
I'm bringing the Axiom from Wall-E.
Oh,
Interesting, yes. Very good.
Interesting choice. Okay, so there you go. So basically, in case you hadn't guessed, we are just picking universes we haven't done yet. There you go.
Well, mix it up. Spice it up a little bit.
Spice it up. Spice it up entirely. So join us next time for the Axiom, the Gunstar, and the Andromeda Ascendant. Could be, it's I think this is the first non-bricky filled episode we'll have.
Well, the Axiom's pretty bricky, actually.
Forget it. Forget I mentioned anything. See, I need that time machine from the beginning of this episode.
Okay.
I need that again. Okay, then. So, just leaves us to say thank you very much, Anne-Marie, for joining us.
You're welcome. I had fun. Thank you.
That's okay. Yay. And plug your stuff, guys. Pete, go on. Where can we find you and Anne-Marie again?
The broadcast.
Yeah, the last episode I was a bit shit-faced.
Yes, the last episode was a tequila special covering a couple more episodes from the first season, Next Gen.
We needed that alcohol.
Oh,
Believe
my word.
me.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. And Andy. Andy.
You can find me on the Band of Brothers podcast with Elton McManus, which you can find at rogue2.com. And also, I don't know, by the time this comes out, we might be back doing the Grand Prix podcast as well, but who knows?
Who knows? And you can find me on the Black Dog podcast, which you can find us at blackdogpodcast.com. Right, okay, so until next time, and we bring all our new and wonderful, shiny new universes out, take care, and we'll see you all next time. Ta-da!
Tinkity-tonk.
Bye!
I should go.
Space Doc Jury is a production of Three Angry Beards.